Hey Roomies, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. My name is Miriam Rumi. If this is your first time on this channel, please do not make it your last time by clicking the subscribe button below, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back girl. So in this video I'm going to show you guys a simple way that I put up this look. That's my updated everyday makeup routine, and also how I got my hair to this extent. It's a simple makeup routine. It's not hard, it's not difficult, and I'm going to be showing you guys how I did it in this video, so please just stay tuned. Also, I'll be showing you how to put your hair into this from a very terrible state. You need to see what my hair always looks like, and I was able to get it into this. I'm not a professional, so that means anybody can do this. This is just a very simple look. So if you are interested in seeing how I was able to get myself to look this good, please stay tuned and continue watching the video. And yeah, please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and all those good stuff, and I will see you in another video. Bye. Yeah.
She wanna know me, I stay low key, all gas, no brakes, baby, let them hoes sleep. Body on 10, make your girl OD. I get in my way, never out of my lane. Feel like you the one and I'm on one. So what it's gonna be? Baby, squad up, we finna go deep. Riding on a team, got what you need. Baby, won't you keep me company? Give me something to do when I get lonely.
Obviously, I'm going to be starting with my hair. Earlier today, I went out and I got some of the products I'm going to be using for my hair. I'm going to be using this Darling. I'll put a picture of it so you guys can see, but this is what it looks like. It's like a ponytail. It's for ponytails. I'm going to use this for my hair, and these are the products I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using Got2b spray, this hair brush, a tail comb, and all of that. You guys are just gonna see. Please, I don't know, I feel like this video is going to be chaotic, but like you're just gonna have to take it like that because newbie hair. This is the first time I'm doing anything like this. It's easy to follow, so I'm just gonna try to figure it out. I mean, this is not rocket science. For a while now, I don't think that's gonna be hard to do. So you guys, what are we talking about today? I honestly do not really have a topic to discuss, but I just feel like, let's talk about stuff that you should have in your car as a lady. In December, I don't know, for some reason I wasn't really using my car. I'm gonna start by combing my hair like this. Usually I would try to water the hair. I already gave it the pattern because obviously I always have like this type of fro. Let me just show you guys the type of fro. Usually how my hair usually is. So what I do next is I wet it. Now I don't have a spray bottle or whatever, and I'm not trying to stress myself to look for something to package it. So I'm just gonna wet my hair like this. It makes it easier for me to work with my hair when it is wet. I just know my hair is a 4 something. I don't know if it's a 4A or a 4B or a 4C. But after this video, I'm gonna find out so I could use it for my thumbnail. No, my title. Next thing I do is I part it. I usually start from here, the tip of your nose, to make it straight. You start from the tip of your nose between your brows, and you just take it like that. So you see, does it look straight or not? So I got my mirror, and yeah, it's closed, but if you can see it closely, the pattern is of this side of my brows instead of the center. I always have to go through like a zillion times. So this is me parting again, so you just need to keep trying to give it the right part until you get it. Next thing I'll do is get a needle. It doesn't necessarily have to be a needle, but you could just get anything that's like pretty sharp around you. So I'm just going to hold it like this so it's not going to get in the way of the pattern I'm trying to create. So with the needle now, you do the same thing and start like from the tip of your nose. Not necessarily from the tip of your nose, but it just makes it easy. You know it's in the center. And I don't know, I always make the center of my head. Can you see how easy that is? So even when I go to the salon to make my hair and it's not on the center pattern, I know like something is up here, it's not on the center. So yeah, I would just literally use the needle to give it a more sharp pattern. If you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, I think I need to zoom the camera a bit. So can you see the pattern? And I'm just going to keep going in with this till I get like the exact line that I want. So next thing I'm going to do now is just brush it again. And I always try to comb the hair from the tip out so the breakage won't be like too much. Now this is what I do next. I'm just gonna like try to brush it down. Obviously I'm supposed to use like a bobby pin to hold it, so it's gonna stay down, but I don't use a bobby pin, so I'm not gonna come here and pretend like I do. So yeah, now that I've done it that way, it's always easy to just, it makes it easier that you can just pull it down like this. The next thing I like to do is use thread. I have this black thread here, so I'm just gonna take out some of it because it's easier when you use thread, or like I use thread or I use shoelace. When I'm in a hurry and I don't have time, I like to use shoelace because it is easier. But most of the time, if I'm gonna do it like this and I want to do it correct, I would use a thread. This is like so. This is very easy. So now I'm going to just go back and like try to pack my hair again. This is the part where you put it up if you want it to be like a pony, and you put it down if you want it to come down. And this is the part where you just position it to the exact place you want the hair to stay. And I just want it to stay like this on my head, so I'm moving the pony up a bit. My 300 naira gel. This is like the most affordable method, you guys, really affordable. So now I'm just going to go in with the gel. You can see how easy this is. You can do this on your own by yourself in a few minutes, because honestly I'm doing this right now without a mirror. That's how easy it is. So it's not rocket science, my guys. Now the reason why I'm using the edge control, or the gel rather, right now is just to hold it down so that by the time I brush it there won't be any big brothers flying about. Anyways, this is how I go in with the gel. Be generous. It's just a few naira, less than $1. You also need to get the back. You can see the back of the hair isn't flying about, so I always get the back too. This is simple. So now you can see the hair is not going to be strenuous to put in the right place now. And I'm just using my hand to pack the hair properly. This is literally not a professional style, so if you're a professional and you run into this video, please just pretend like you did not see anything. I'm not a professional. I'm just trying to share how I pack my hair, holding it up like this and then brush it again, just in case there are some that I didn't get before. So when I pack it up like this, I then use my thread. I wrap it on my last finger, so it's not going to be flying about or hard to get, and I just take it around like that. I try to bring it from the upper part of the hair down, so there's any part that I do not get that is flying about, it will be gotten now, and it's time to tighten it. After tightening it, I bring out my finger, I release my finger, and I just, you know, go around and around like that. in circles. And there you go. Let me see what I've done. Oh wow, girl, you did a good job. But I've covered the pattern. You could not tell me I covered the pattern. Now I just go ahead and brush the hair again. And this is the part where you go in with edge control if you're the type that does it. If you know how to edge your hair, this is the time you're going with it. I'm not going to be edging my hair. I'm going to just watch videos on it and learn very soon, not today. But I have this brush here. You can use a toothbrush. I have this brush here, and I'm just going to use it to get the tiny fly out that is in front of my hair.
Remember, all things must pass, but I'm not gonna wake up, I'm not ready.
So the next thing I'm gonna do now is I'm going to use the spray, the Got2b spray, and I'm just going to use it generously all over my hair. And now don't be scared like this is going to like cut your hair or whatever. It won't. In fact, my edges grew instead and my hair grew instead. It won't cut your hair, so don't worry. I'm not going to put you up to something that is going to destroy the hair you have been trying to build. So usually if you know me, you know I always leave tiny edges here, but today I didn't do that because not everybody fancies that, and I'm trying to just go for like a more mature look. But if I'm going to do that now, I'm just going to pick it up from here, as tiny as that. This is all you need, and I'm going to rub a little of the gel on it, or like your edge control or whatever, and do this. That's all. Now the next step for me is either to blow dry or just tie a scarf. I hardly ever blow dry my hair. I don't put it under any form of heat. We all know heat isn't really good for natural hair, so I don't even bother. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to do like a little bit of blow drying. Anyways, I really don't want to blow dry my hair, so I'm just trying to show you that you really don't need to do more than that. And obviously the hair is now dry. And yeah, so next I'm going to pick the darling attachments, or like this like pin stuff, or should I call it clips, that you just like clip on the hair. You know what, I just realized I should have made a reel while making this hair, because I said I was gonna like start doing like Instagram videos and all of that, but I'm not used to it. That's why I still forgot that I could have made a reel. But anyways, yeah. So now I just clip this around my hair. And I'm going to take like the little extension part that is left over there, and I'm going to wrap it around my hair. Now this is it for the hair. The hair is good to go. I can flip it to the side or whatever. Usually I do not attach this to my hair. I just bought this like a few minutes ago. What I do is just pack my hair like that, and then the next thing I do is tie a scarf. This scarf would hold it down. Obviously I just blow dried my hair for like a few seconds, so we all know it's not yet dried. So the next thing I'm gonna do is tie the scarf in. More than blow drying it. I don't know if that makes sense, but this is a style I've always done since like secondary school. You just like scarf gel your whole back and it stays like that. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dive right into makeup. And yeah, The type of makeup I do every day is not a heavy makeup. I'm more of like a mild type makeup. So let's get into it. So I already went ahead and rinsed my face out again, and I also washed my hand. The next thing I always do is I take like Vaseline and I just use it to moisturize my lip, because nobody wants to try it. I'm just going to go in with this dry skin ultra moisturizing lotion. This lotion that I got from Miniso. If you watched my Vlogmas videos, you would have seen it there. And yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and moisturize my face with this. I've tried it severally and I already know it's good for my face, and my skin never reacted to it, even though this is cheap AF. And I was really scared to buy it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this Hydro Milk primer. I always use this generously because the previous the moisturizer is really like it really gives you that oily wet type skin, and yeah, so I just like to go in with a lot of this just to keep the face dry enough, and I just like try to pat it in. I know you guys don't see this process when you watch my videos usually, but I always pat it in just to make sure it dries well and like it soaks in. The next thing I always do is I go in with this. Well, that's not the next thing I always do. I usually draw my brows before I go in with this, but then I found out it's always nicer when I go in with this brow gel before I do my brows. So I'm just gonna go in with this brow gel. The brow is like the most important part of makeup to me. I feel like if your brow looks good, it just makes your makeup look better, and if you have a bad brow, it brings down the makeup immediately. So I always try to keep my brow looking good, and I spend most of my time on my brows. So I have a brow pencil and I have this brow filler, but I never use it. I always use the pencil because I'm local like that. So this is what I would just usually do. I draw the upper part and I draw the lower part, and I just like fill it in. And with brow gel, it's always very hard for your pencil or whatever it is that you're using to appear. It's always like wow. So that's when I started using this again. So I just use this to go over the top part of the brows because it does a bit better than the brow pencil. And this is why I do not like showing you guys my makeup, because I feel like the way I do my makeup is not put together at all. But today is different. Today I'm open to vulnerability. 2022, I'm open to vulnerability. I said I was going to talk to you guys about what you should have in your car as a girl, because last year December I was going around with my man's cars. I kept using one or the other of his car because my car was really damaged by those Okada guys. If you watched my video, you would have seen where I was complaining. So I wasn't using my car anyways, and I was always using his cars. And then I found out that men don't have anything in their car. Men don't have nothing, absolutely nothing. I feel like, I don't know if other ladies can relate to this, but as a lady, there are things you should have in your car. There are certain things you definitely, most definitely must have in your car that you can never find in a man's car. And the first thing for me is always lotion, an extra lotion. Like the other day, I got dressed to go out, obviously, and I used lotion. Honestly, I did. But for some reason, I was looking really ashy, and I'm just like, oh, that's fine. And then I opened like the handrest, and to my greatest surprise, no lotion, because it wasn't my car. So I somehow expected that I was going to find a lotion there, but there was no lotion, and that was just the beginning of it all. There were other times that I needed other things in the car and I couldn't find them, so I just decided like, yo, we need to gist about this. We need to gist about things a lady should have in the car. I don't know if well, every lady does this, so if there are some things that even other ladies always have in their car that I'm not going to mention, but for me it is very essential to have some certain things in your car, which includes most definitely a lotion. As a lady, I feel like, well, you don't want to go out and be looking all crusty and all of that, so you should always have like lotion in your car. So I'm just going to use this Ferrarucci, I don't know what it's called, but like everybody and their makeup artists, they know this palette. So yeah, the Professional Makeup 12 long last makeup cover and corrector. I'm gonna use this for both under and above my brows. Even though I like to go for like a brow that is not really heavy, I like when it has these little strokes. And my friend is always like, Etisa is always like, how come your brow is always look like this? Even when I'm going to, let me tell you guys this, let me put you on. Even when I'm going to the gym or I'm going out and I don't have makeup on, I always use this on my brows, because my brows are not scanty. They're not full anymore, but they used to be fuller than this. My brows are not scanty, so I always use this on my brows. I just like comb it up and I like give it a shape above, and it always makes it stays like that for the whole day, and it always makes my brow look different from like every other random brows. It just gives my face some type of look. I don't know how to explain it. My friend is always asking, babe, how come your brow is always looking very nice? Babe, this is what I use. I just never told you. The name is Kate of London Professional Makeup. You can use any brow wax if we're being honest, but like just always dig it in before you go out. That's one thing I always do. I like to use brows, I like to use lip gloss, so I'm not gonna go crazy. Yeah, I feel like there's certain things that you should always have in your car. And the first one for me is always a lotion. I feel like every lady always needs lotion. You would always need that lotion. Sometimes your hand is just like too dry, or like you just want to like use it on your leg, your feet is like ashy, or your body is ashy. You should always have like an extra lotion in my car. In your car rather, I have like this Victoria's Secret lotion that I have like on the in the armrest of my car. I always put that there because it just always comes in handy when I'm going to the gym. Sometimes I rush out and I don't even bother to make sure that I keep myself well hydrated. Okay, that's the thing. So I'm just going to go in with the leftover from the one I use for under the brows for above the brows now. And then yeah, you just like you just always look put together. I hate when you come out and you look ashy, like you didn't use the mirror before you left your house. Another thing I always have in my car is Vaseline, because like I said, even when I don't have makeup on, I hate when my lip is looking dry. So if you check my car, you find Vaseline. You might not find a lip gloss, but there's always a gloss in every one of my bags. I like to put glosses in my bags, so even when I change out my bag, there's a gloss waiting for me. But something that sometimes you might just like take it out, or sometimes like you gave it to someone or you brought it out, one way or the other there's no gloss in your bag, you won't be caught on fresh when you have Vaseline. I always have Vaseline in my car. Sometimes you don't want to use a lotion, you just like put Vaseline. Vaseline never goes wrong, we all know that. So I always have Vaseline in my car, and I always use Vaseline when I don't want to use lotion. So another thing I feel like as a lady you should have in your car is a perfume, because sometimes you just dress up and you rush out, you don't remember to use a spray. I feel like not everybody does that. Not everybody is that clumsy. People always remember like they have to smell good, but there are just times that you just feel like it's not enough, you want to give more. And I feel like the perfume you should have in your car shouldn't be like a small random anyhow perfume. It should be like a really good one. There are lots of perfumes you could pick from. The one I have in my car is like really strong, it was a gift, and yeah, I always love using it. Sometimes I would use my perfume before I leave the house, and even when I get to my destination I just feel like, okay, let me just add a little more. Like it's never too much. People will guess like, what exactly are you wearing, because they cannot pinpoint. Maybe you can see this person is wearing wood, but like at the same time you're smelling something else on it. You're like, okay, what exactly is this? Is it YSL? Is it this? Is it that? You know, I just like that type of thing. I just like to I like to mix my perfumes. I don't like to use just one perfumes. Also, there are times that your friends won't remember to use perfumes, and then they're like, oh, do you have a perfume? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And if I give it to you, it doesn't mean we're going to end up smelling the same way, because I already used one previously, and I probably won't even be using the one I have in the car. But I always advise to have a good perfume in the car, because you can never go wrong with having a good perfume in your car. You could go to, like, you might think you're just going for like a little you're just going out for like a brunch or dinner or something, and your outing extends more than that. In a case like that, your perfume, your extra perfume is definitely going to come through, because when you're coming down from the car, obviously if you're using good perfumes, they last long, but like this is just going to smell fresher, you know, something fresher, something just to add to what you already have. Another thing I like to have in the car is like an extra slide, a slipper, slides or whatever, but I feel like you should always have an extra shoe in your car, because shoes will always fuck you up. If you watch my vlog that I made today's vlog from my weekly vlog, you would see how my shoe almost fucked me up. And funny enough, today I don't have an extra shoe in the car, so imagine I also had somewhere else to get to. That's how I'm gonna be fucked up. Sometimes you wear like heels or something and they get a bit uncomfortable. And you want to change it up. When you have an extra shoe in the car, all you need to do is just walk back to your car, take off the shoes you're wearing before and put on something else. I mean, it's really important to have an extra shoe in your car. I cannot ring it enough. It's always either a slides or a sandal for me, but like it's really imp really imp to have an extra shoe in your car. So the next thing for me is always wipes or tissue. You need to always have a wipes or a tissue in your car. There are those pocket ones. They are the ones that you can put on like your windscreen behind, or you can put them on your handrest. But some people find it less attractive, like I don't want something like that to be dangling in my car, and that is perfectly fine. But you can have those very cute pocket ones that you just throw in your handbag or something. Always have a tissue around you, because I feel like you need it or someone around you needs it. There's nothing better than when someone is like, do you have lotion? Yeah, I do. My son now just got, do you have? Yes, I do. Do you have a perfume? I didn't wear one. Yes, I do. Okay, I just stained something on my clothes. I want to quickly clean it out. Do you have tissue? Do you have wipes? Yes, I do. Those things are really nice. It's something you should always have in your car as a lady. I feel like you can never go wrong with it. And yeah, now the next thing for me is my mom. I learned this one from my mom. My mom never goes out without cash. And when I say never goes out without cash, even when I'm not going out, like as I'm sitting down right now, if you just go into my car, open the armrest or open the pigeonhole or check like that place where you can keep your card or stuff like that, you would always find cash in my car, because it always comes in, and the amount you have at hand does not matter. It doesn't have to be big money. It could just be as little as 500 or 1,000 naira, but you always have to have cash in your car. I feel like it always comes in handy. Imagine you go out and then God forbid you get stranded, or some sort of flat tire, or like someone helps you do something. Maybe your car falls into a ditch and they help you pull it out. This is Lagos. Anything can happen to you at any given time. I always like to be ready, and the best way to be ready is always have cash. Most of the time when you have cash and it's not even a lot, you can just tell them, I know to on you, I just 1,000 in my hand. They'll tell you, thank you, bring them. Like, they'll happily collect it rather than you not giving them anything. If you have to make a transfer to them, you probably end up spending more than that. If you have to make a transfer to someone, you probably end up spending more than that. It could be someone you run into that is stranded. It could be you want to get water. Imagine one day I wanted to get water and I had 1,000 naira with me in traffic, and I didn't drink water till I got home because everybody was like, no change, no change, no change. And eventually when I said, okay, I'm just going to buy 1,000 naira worth of bottled water or leave my change for someone, I did not find water again till I got home. And that's that. Always have some change in your car, always have money in your car. I know that we're doing cashless policy now in this country, but it is always important and essential to have some cash. Some cash doesn't have to be big money, but always have some cash in your car. It comes in handy. So honestly, I do not know how I forgot. I was just editing this video. I realized that I did not mention the hairbrush. What's a lady without the hairbrush? Something I always have in my car is an airbrush. I feel like every lady has an airbrush. Even some guys put airbrush in their cars for when they have a lady in the car. So yeah, an airbrush is very essential. That's something you should never forget to put in your car. I don't even know how many things I've mentioned. I know that there are some things that I'm probably forgetting or I'm not talking about, and somebody out there is like, oh, you didn't mention this or that. So if you remember something, or if there's something you always have in your car that I did not mention, please, you can just put it in the comment section so I could also add it to my collections of things I always put in my car, because you can never go wrong with that. My friend Etiosa, she always has, okay, she always used to have an extra outfit in the car. I feel like that's just extra. I used to say she was living in a car, but she always had an extra outfit in her car, which was crazy. I'm like, I don't understand. Why do you have extra clothes in your car? And I never really understood until I started driving. And I'm like, okay, now I can see where she's coming from, because some outfits would even mess you up. And yeah, but that's extreme for me. I don't put clothes in my car. And yeah, I don't know if I'm forgetting something else. Maybe there's something else I always put that I cannot remember right now. If I do remember it, I'll mention it before I finish my makeup. But if you remember anything else, let me know. So yeah, the eyeshadow I just used is this nude shadow. This is what I use every time, regularly, every other day. I usually just use it because it's not far from my skin color. This particular shade, you can see the way it looks, you can tell I use it regularly. Right now I'm using this white shadow, and I don't always do this, but like this is some sort of updated makeup, regular makeup routine. And if I'm being honest, even with my updated regular makeup routine, I still won't be using this regularly, because nobody really wants to have a stressful double lip type shadow. Usually I'm always using this one too. That is right beside it. Right now I don't know if, okay, I'm just going to mix it with this other yellow type shade from MK Signature. Few years ago, everybody, or almost everybody I went to go and had this palette. This was a thing for, well, all of us were using it, we were all using it, and I still have mine. That's mine. I still have it. So yeah, I'm just going to use it on the part that I made lighter with the same brush that I was using, because I honestly do not want it to actually be really lighter. I just wanted to make like a little difference. I don't know if you can see that this piece is now a bit lighter than the main. That's just a little, that's what I'm aiming for. This I can do as an everyday type makeup. This is all I do for my shadow. The eye I can do next time is just to like put like a little bit of I can use a little bit of this on my teardrop, and that's just the eye I'll do. I always like when my makeup is this like close to almost like there's nothing in my brows. Yeah, this is it. And now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my foundation. I use MAC, and I don't go in with too much of this. I just use like a little. Oh my god, hold on. Now I've made a mistake. Before I go in with my foundation here, I like to correct my dark areas, which is, I haven't used foundation on this, that's the good news, which is like under my eyes. That's literally where I like to correct. And I use a shade that is not really far from my skin color. I know it looks light right now, but when I put my foundation on it, it won't look light. just to correct it because I don't do much with foundation. Hey Rumi, so I'm back, and then I realized that another thing I usually have in my car that I did not mention is a sunshade. Very important. So now that I've done that, the next thing for me is to blend out the foundation. I know a lot of like people do their foundation and all of that before they do their powder. Obviously, a lot of people do their like foundation and other stuff before they do their brows, but that's not for me. I've tried it before. It doesn't give my brows that flawless look that I always want my brows to have. I do it better when I've done my brows and my shadow, and then I do my makeup on it. It always looks like it's way lighter than me, but honestly it's not, because I went to the store and they tested this on me before I bought it. I didn't know my real shade, and I went there and they tested it on me before I bought it, and it always just blends with my skin at the end of the day. But like when I put it on my face, it always looks as if it's lighter, but it is not. And the foundation I'm using is the MAC Studio Fix in color MW48. That's what I'm using, in case you care to know. I'm also using the Real Technique brush. This is the Real Technique contour brush actually, but I use it for my foundation. I like the fact that it's not like really wide mouthed, it's just like little, so it's very easy for me to just even out my foundation and all of that. Now that I have my foundation on, I'm going to go in with the same foundation brush. Yes, I said the same foundation brush. I'm not a professional, but I do what works for my face. I go in with the same foundation brush and I use this shade of the contour palette. That's like the second to the last one. I don't know the colors, I didn't put the colors on it, but yeah, that's what I use. And I'm just going to use this for like directly under my eyes. This is almost like my shade, so it's not always too light, although I always go back in with a lighter one just for like directly under my brows. So this is like my everyday makeup. I don't like when I look too cakey or stuff like that. I know it looks like I'm too cakey right now, but I'm not. I haven't used a lot of products, if we're being honest. So like, yeah, I just do this and I do the same thing, just a little goes a long way for me. I do the same thing on the other side. And I like to use my foundation brush because there is still product for my foundation on it, and it makes it easy, if I'm being honest, to blend out. There isn't like too much of it left by the time I'm done because I'm using the foundation brush that I used originally. So the next thing for me is I'll then use this brush that I used for under my eye first, and I go in with the lighter shade. And I do this with a smaller brush because I don't want the product to spread everywhere. I just want it directly under my eyes like this. And now I'm going to go back in with the same brush that I used, the same foundation brush, and just blend it all out. Now I'm going to go back with this same brush that I used earlier to correct my color. I'm going to go back in with it to correct around my lip because it's always dark around it. And then obviously I'm gonna go in with my foundation brush again and just like keep it back to like the normal shade, and now it just looks even. Now I'm going to go in with my foundation brush again and go back to the first one that I used, the first shade that I used, just to do under my chin, my forehead, and my nose. Now the next thing I always do, because I do not like to put product, if I was going to use product, that's the color I'm going to use, this very last shade here. I could try it, but I usually don't like to use products. I would just go back in with this brush that I used for my, I'll usually just go back in with this brush that I used for my shadow, because there's going to be leftover there, and I just do it like this. From the leftover of the eyeshadow, it just like, it does the job. I don't usually have to go with product. Come back in with this brush just to correct any part that I've left too dark on the side, and I just go in back and forth like that till I feel good with it. So next I'm gonna do is going with this tiny brush, and I'm going to pick some of that product and use it for here. You guys, this is the darkest on this palette. The darkest shade on this palette. Like, it is really dark. Really dark. But every time I use it, I feel like it doesn't show like that. If you look at it right now, it's looking as if the product is looking so much and looking so fair, but like, that's not the case. Honestly, it's the light. That's not the case. I like to use the contour from like above my hair like this. That's how I trace it, and I do the same thing on the other side. Then I'm going to use the foundation brush to just brush it upwards. That way my chin is more defined. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my Laura Mercier powder, setting powder, and I'm just going to use that under my eyes and everywhere else that I've highlighted. I also like to use some part of it to go under where my contour stopped, and I just bend it out a little bit like this, and that helps you just give the contour a more pronounced look. That's this palette that I showed you earlier that I got when I was in school, and I picked this very light shade. This one you're seeing right here, you can see I've been using it a lot. So I go back in on this with a beauty blender, and I just rub it in like that, and then I put it directly under my eyes just for a brighter look. It always makes all the difference, if I'm being honest. So next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with my powder and just brush everything out. It's looking like the ash line is still there, but it is not. It's just looking like that in the camera, so I'm just gonna keep blending till it literally fades away in camera too. The makeup look very put together. Patience and blending. So next I'm just going to take out these lashes that I always use all the time, Estee Ola lashes, and I'm just going to put my glue on it to prepare it for when I want to wear it. So I don't know how people do it, that they just put the glue and then they hold it and then do this and do this and then they put it on their eyes. It doesn't work that way for me. I always have to put the glue down and leave it for like a few minutes. I feel like it's very important for you guys to know that I still struggle with my lashes. Like, you're gonna see, except my lashes just wants to put me like I'm some bad bee or like I'm some boss or something. Apart from that, I struggle a lot with my lashes, but I always make sure it sits. The lashes glues I'm using is the Classic Lashes glue. I'm going to show you in a second when I'm done rubbing it all over. So this is a Classic Makeup Super Old Lash Glue. That's what I always use. And yeah, while I'm sitting for my lashes to sit, I'm going to go in with this Full Spectrum CoverGirl bronzer powder, and I always go in a lot with this. I always overdo this. I like that very bronzed looking type of face, so I always go in with the bronzer a lot. Now that I've gone in with the bronzer, the next thing I always like to do now is to use the lashes. So a lot of people use mascara before they use the lashes, but that doesn't work for me. I just like try to bring the lashes down. Can you see? I see. I knew it would embarrass me. And that's about it. So I'm just now going to go in with the same brush that I used to apply the shadow to clean out the glue that must have stained it right there. Yeah, that's it. This one didn't give me problem. Let's hope the other one actually cooperates a bit too. Are you drinking your water? Have you drank enough water today? Yes? Have you? Okay. Now do me a favor. Do me a favor and like this video. Like this video and subscribe to my channel in case you've forgotten to subscribe to my channel. I finally got it right after 10,000 years. Now the next thing I'm just gonna do is use my setting spray on my face. I like to use my setting spray if I use my highlighter. It just always makes it stay more that way. And yeah, you cover your eyes. So now I'm gonna go in with this Extra Dimension Skin Finish MAC highlighter and just dab it. Just a little. I think it's a bit wet that I do this, but I like to put my highlighter before I put my blush, and then I come in a little with my highlight. Blush, I'm going to go in with the BM Pro Satin Powder Blush. So it has a little shimmer in it, so I like the fact that it has that pink undertone and it has a little shimmer. Now I'm just going back in with the light, with the MAC highlighter, just like a bit over the, I don't know if you're seeing what it's giving, but it's not doing too much. Sometimes I like to go in on my tear dots, and I always just spray a little. Okay, I didn't tell you guys, the fix I use is the MAC Prime Fix setting spray. So yeah, I just like to go in sometimes a little like this. Sometimes I like to go under my underbrows with the same shade of shadow that I used, but today I'm not doing that. I'm just going to use this Maybelline mascara and go in. This always gives a dramatic look, so I don't do it all the time. If you don't have like lashes under, a trick that I always use that used to work when I didn't have lashes under was, first of all, I would apply some Vaseline before I start doing my makeup. So by the time I want to use this, the Vaseline makes it just stand out. So now I'm going to go back in and use my finger to apply this highlighter on my nose. So that's always the last thing I do. If I feel like my face is too shiny, I somehow go back in with my powder brush and just tune down everything. So next I'm gonna do my lip. So I'm just going to first of all line my lip using this. This is so it's actually a brow pencil, so this is supposed to be like a brow pencil, but I always use it on my lid because I like the shade. Then I go back in with this pencil. It's a MAC pencil, literally almost done with it. It's so tiny. I'm just going to go in with my Tarte gloss in the Tarte Pure Opaque lip gloss. And that's usually it for me. This is literally my everyday makeup. Only when I take off my scarf, there's always this discoloration between my hair and my face. It's just a little, and all I need to do is go in with leftovers from my powder brush. That's about it. Yo, you guys, I'm looking like a snack. I'm looking like a full course meal. I'm looking like the meal. You know that food that you have to eat that you'll never be hungry again. That's what I look like. My hair is sitting pretty and tight. So is my makeup. I need to say this. As you can see, my makeup is my my hair is sitting, it's not moving because I scalp gelled it. I feel like it always works better when I scalp gel it. So that is usually it. I go ahead and put on earrings now or whatever and accessorize myself, but like this is usually all I have to do to get my makeup done. I just need to change it to a lovely outfit, and I'm going to do the intro of this video, and I look good. I know you guys are feeling me. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I always do for my look. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope my makeup meets the standard. I know it is scattered, but like, take me for me. And I would see you in another video. Bye.